That's what I thought. This light is terrible. Oh, let me try. That's a little better. I'm in my house all alone in a lot of pain. My left knee has a Baker's cyst on it because at my job I do a lot of standing and walking, and I'm already dealing with uh, some bad knees where I have to get a shot. If not, I will be in a lot of pain. Um, I just saw a video on YouTube talking about how it is to be an introvert. Well, I am one. I just found out I was one about a couple of years ago, and I don't like being an introvert, but that's what I am, and that's what I've been dealing with all my life. I've been somewhat secluded. I had my kids, and that was all that I needed. But now all my kids are grown on their own, got families of their own, doing their thing, and now I'm left all alone. And me and my family don't really get along that well. I have a couple kids that we still have a good relationship. And I can depend on them. But they have lives of their own. They busy. They trying to run a business. They have a child. Um, so and they work. They work very hard. So they can only do so much. Uh, I've been trying to uh, write a book, and it's really not a book per se, but just some encouraging motivation thoughts to read every day. And I feel like that's what we need. In the climate that we're living in, it don't seem like it's too much of that going around. And if you've been listening to the news, you see that it's just a lot of sad news we're all the way around. And it's nothing we can do about it because you need togetherness. You need to be able to talk without getting upset. You need to come up with solutions. You need to come up with preventions. Prevention is the most important thing that we can have. So, um, and just like when I was looking at that video about introverts, it's a lot of introverts out there. Now, what can you do? How do introverts get together? Uh, is Are we born that way? Are we just raised to be that way? I noticed one guy was saying that uh, he knew when he was growing up that he always played by itself, rode his bike by itself, and I pretty much did the same thing. And I always thought that, I just couldn't make friends. Didn't nobody like me. And um, the friends that I did have turned out to be uh, not friends at all. But and it's when you think about it, being alone, getting older and alone is difficult because you don't have nobody there to help you when you need it. You have to depend on other people. So I just want to read a few um, pages that I wrote. It's about the future is here. Live for the future. And I write, today is the original day. I will look for the good in everyone I relate to. I will try something new. I have value to bring to the table. My voice matters. And I say that a lot is because when you look at YouTube's and the news, what do you hear? All these talking heads with talking points. That's pretty much, it's just on there for entertainment, just to make money. Um, I say all the time, when you see these people get on TV talking to the media about their loved ones uh, and got shot and killed, especially our black brothers and sisters. Why don't you go to a black media outlet and talk to them, tell them your story, tell the truth, you know? Just like this last incident that happened in Akron, Ohio with Jalen Walker. Um, you can't tell the truth on these media. They're not going to let you, and they're not going to put it on there even if you did. If you don't say, if you don't go by their script, by what they think you should say, we are going to continue to be in the dark. Just like everybody was all upset about, of course we should be upset. It doesn't make any sense that uh, these police officers have to kill one man by shooting him over 60 times, 90 times, or whatever it was. That doesn't make any sense. But then we don't give it substance that this man probably would still be alive if he had not ran. And I know people think, well, everybody does something wrong. Yes, we do. But when you're wrong and you get caught doing wrong, you have to just face it. If you can't do the time, don't do the crime. And it really wasn't no big deal. It was just a traffic. It would have been just a plain traffic ticket. And when you get a traffic ticket, you go pay it or you fight it. You don't have to go run. And therefore, wind up might get killed for nothing. And see, now if the parents had like went on Roland Martin or some of the other black inter YouTube channels and talk to them. We really could have had an honest discussion. They could have got the money instead of these medias out here, CBS and all them. Whereas they're gonna make it sound, um, get people all upset, and you see what happened. They are protesting and rioting and breaking out windows and stuff. Uh, breaking breaking windows in people's businesses didn't have nothing to do with it. If you mad at the police, why you not down there breaking the windows at the police station? If you're gonna break some windows, it just sounds so. It's just ignorant, you know. Um, that should be played out in the courts, and everybody can say justice is not blind, okay, and we know that. But what else do we have? You know, I know we all are tired of hearing about our young ones being shot down in the streets by the police and by people that you know. It's just getting outrageous, and I feel like we need to take a step back and restart, because what we've been doing is not working. And it is one thing that uh, I know that nobody's really ever tried, and that was love. Love one another, you know. And I know it's hard to do when you have so many hate groups out here. But the only thing that's going to destroy those hate groups is love. Because that is the only powerful entity that we've never really tried. Uh, and I talk about tomorrow, because the way people is conducting themselves and talking, it's like tomorrow don't mean nothing. They're doing away with things that could stop the pollution, the climate change, and making people healthier, giving people healthier lives. It seems like they trying to stop that. When are we going to start living for the future? The future is here. This is a turning point. And if we look at it, we only have, if we are lucky, we will live in 2 centuries. You know, we've already, I was born in the 20th century. Now it's the 21st century, and the, I'm not going to see the 22nd century. That's, you know, um, that's just a fact. Don't nobody live that long, as far as I know. And what do we do with our lives? Why do you have 23-year-olds in jail for killing 2 or 3 people? That was unheard of in my time. I mean, my younger days. I mean, you you never even thought of nothing like that. You didn't even see nothing like that on TV. And I think one of the problems is a lot of our young ones do not have enough leaders. They don't have black leaders. Back in the '60s, like when my mother and people were younger, they had people like Martin Luther King. They had Malcolm X. They had, before then, you had leaders like W. Du Bois and Frederick Douglass, Marcus Garvey. You had leaders. We don't have any. I didn't have any. Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr., all of them was killed when I was a kid, and it has not been um, a I'd say a good leader since then. But what we left with, not much. Our parents, they was totally um, taken aback. They didn't really know. Uh, after killing all these people, they were scared to talk up, you know, and then a lot of them got pacified with good jobs, and they started letting them make some good money, and they just said, okay, we free now. We got our civil rights, and you could go where you want to go. You could go to school. You could you can make some big money. You could travel all over. And our young ones was left, and they are rebellious against that, not having the leadership that they need. And it's just a doggone shame that we just can't get it together, because we are living in such a divisive land, and we're not caring about each other. And um, so, and these ones that's going to jail, you going to jail at the age of 15 for the rest of your life. And like I always say, people that's trying to fight to get over here, it must be awful bad where they at to want to come over here and live here in the United States. Oh, I just, um, it's just very disappointing on how things is. When I sit up there and look at people partying and having a good time, and I'm like, wow. I mean, I'm not talking totally against having a good time. We definitely not should be walking around here sad, but we should be walking around here trying to find a solution to what is going on. Why are you going to wait till it happened to you? Because it can. And then when I found out about over $1 billion have been given to families that were murdered by the police, where is this money going? I have yet to hear about um, them using that money to build up the community. I know for the past 30 years, I've been trying to find just a few women that want to get together and try to help our young ones live a better life because we have experience. We know what works and what don't work. And most of these parents now grew up like I did with no guidance. And then their kids is growing up with no guidance and direction. And and they're paying the ultimate price with their life because they out here overdosing on drugs, getting locked up for life, or stuck with 5 or 6 kids. What kind of life is that? And thank goodness some of them get out of that life. Some of them do go on to do good things and start living a fulfilling life, you know. And I hear about some of the women that, that are stuck in these projects, and they say that the kids are uh, bored. They have idle hands. They don't have much to do. You have to get something for them to do. You can't let them go out there and find something to do. When I was growing up, we didn't have that much to do either. But we weren't out there robbing and stealing and killing, or just like these young ones that uh, beat this 73-year-old man to death with a traffic cone. 14, 12, 13 girls beating a 73-year-old man. That man took the brunt of all their rage against older people that did not give them the care and guidance that they need. Kids need direction, they need guidance, they need discipline, they need love. And he was there, and he was the punching bag. They don't even have boxing rings and boxing clubs and stuff that kids used to go to. When I was younger, uh, a lot of people put their kids in these boxing clubs and they learn how to box and fight. Now these kids, they don't learn how to fight because why? When you could just go get a gun and shoot your opponent or shoot anybody. We have so many random shootings, you know, just like that one girl that got shot. They just playing around with a gun and shot the poor girl. I don't stand these kids. Now as soon as they pulled that gun out, they she should have been out that door because do these kids even hear the news? Did they even look at the news? They probably, I don't think none of them probably ever read a newspaper. It's for some reason these parents think by the time they get old enough to go to school, they're on their own. No, you're not on your own. No, kids need to be disciplined. They need to be watched for a very long time. And like I said before, um, we definitely need to get rid of these projects. I know people say projects are good for people, and but no, they're not. They're not good for kids. We need to start thinking more about these kids because they are our future. Well, I'm gonna get off of here. I did have two people come in, click in, but that's fine. I wasn't expecting nobody to, because this is just something I wanted to do because I was sitting here bored. I can't go anywhere. My leg is messed up. So I really don't know what to talk about. Somebody did say, "How are you?" I didn't even see it. Today was gone. This is my first time ever really doing live. I really don't have a big following. Um, how you get a big following? You have to be very entertaining, and I'm not very entertaining. Uh, it's hard to really talk when you don't have nobody really to talk to. Um, mm, oh, it's a nice rainy day. Can't really do much. I should be at work. Um, you've been hearing a lot in the news lately about Christian values. They just overturned the Roe versus um, uh, about the abortion, Roe versus Wade. They overturned that. Now, when it comes to abortion, I think that is a personal decision, just like it's a personal decision to have sex. Now, people get abortions for all kind of different reasons. People have been getting abortions for ages before it even became a law. Because Christians, religious people got wanted to get involved. They always want to be heard. And I heard one of them. What was his name? Well, I can't think of his name. But he was talking about. He was asking this lady, "Does she believe in infanticide?" Now, didn't something like that happen in the Bible with Jesus? They was going around killing all the kids under 12, trying to kill Jesus. And then you read through history where a lot of women would kill their baby girls because they wanted a boy. So uh, it's been around a long time. And people are all upset, in which they should be. And this is my say on it. What do a Christian nation look like? Do we have any examples? When you look back, they say that they came over here to get away from religious persecution, and they claim it was founded on Christian values. Okay. Um, and what do a Christian nation consist of? Nobody's ever asked them that. Uh, and a lot of people don't refer back to this, but the Cold War, it changed American culture a great deal. And most Americans are mourning the economic and political conservatism in a way that their traditional values are upheld with the union of Christian ideology and conservative politics in the United States. They wanted to push a more Christian value on American people. And these are the white immigrants that came with their Presbyterian, Roman Catholics ideology, and they were established citizens and had all the rights. And second, their economic policies was being used to support people that deemed inferior. And there came to be a welfare crisis. Poor families needed assistance. With Nixon proposed a form of new federalism. Now, this is what I'm saying. They are always creating these problems. They the one that create the problems, and they are the ones that try to solve the problems that they create. And in the meantime, making more problems, just like with the welfare system. Before they had the welfare system, families were together, communities were together. But instead of giving them decent wages and decent jobs and affordable housing, they gave them some crumbs in form of a welfare check. And then with that welfare check came these rules. You can't have a man in the house. You can't be making this much money. If you make this much money, they cut you off. And then you're left with still struggling. Where do they get these numbers from? That a parent, a mother with two kids, can only make um, no more than $1,200 a month in order to still qualify for a welfare check. This is just something off the top of my head. Now, who in the world lives off of that with two kids? How can anybody live off of that with two kids? Now, if the cutoff is 1,258 and your check happens to add up to 159, they will cut you off. And it don't matter how much your rent is. It don't matter if see, we have people that's running stuff that don't know what they're doing. These people that are making these rules and regulations, 9 or 10 never had to even need welfare, grew up with a stable mother and father. Now, when you have to grow up in a home without both parents, it is difficult for the parents and the kids. But that was the stimulation to get a welfare check and food stamps. And then the kids, they wind up getting on the wrong path, wind up going to prison, and that's a more burden on the family, because then the person in jail is going to need money to survive in prison, or is taking away the second income, or the father or mother wind up getting killed. The kids are left orphaned, have to grow up, children's services, or with family members that probably is not no better than the parents were. And this is what we have to live under. So what can we do? It's scary out here. Do you know your neighbors? You go to church. Do you know any of your church members? Do you know their names, their phone numbers, their kids? Do you know them? You see people go to the club, having a good time, then go home and why are we not out here helping one another to help raise our kids? We need each other. We need to start loving each other. We need to give up the partying. We need to give up the drinking, the smoking, the going to clubs. We need to give up, going to the store, buying all this junk that we don't need, and start using our money to help rebuild the community and families. Love is the only solution. Not legislation, not policies, not these doggone politicians, but we need to start loving one another. Thank you for listening. I appreciate you. Have a good day.